like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh 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 crazy oh 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 crazy crazy oh oh crazy oh 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy crazy do do like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh do do like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a lovely night of Titan Esports Gaming, or a lovely middle of the day if you're in Australia, but that's only me here. Jay Beto joined by Oz. We are here for a civil war for Stasis Gaming Mirage versus Stasis Gaming Resurgence. Oz, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, well, let's talk about some of the most important thing, I think, is the resurgence of SGR's roster because of a massive roster change that they underwent going into this week from last week after a bit of a oopsie, or as Content Piece would like to call it, the death of SGR, but they're coming back in force here in what is believed to be a massive upgrade across the board here, so we'll have to see if that has any impact. I will not call Mirage what was called in the content, because that was an interesting name. Regardless, go read the content if you're curious. I won't be repeating that on stream though. But I do expect this one to be kind of close, especially if SGR's roster has leveled up to the level that is, been talked about. Of course, you have Mags, I think, kind of for me, going to be the most impactful player going back to the mid role, which, in my opinion, I think Mags is a phenomenal mid laner, so should be on the better role here overall, but you never know. We'll have to see.
I mean, one of my favorite names of any of the, grassroots leagues that I've casted is currently in this game. I'll leave that open to interpretation. I won't say who, but if you're in the know, there are some good names in this game, and there is one specific one. But we've also just gone under pretty big patch, Oz. Two pretty big patches back to back. A lot of changes across the board. The beginning of the season was a bit slow for changes. Was seeing how it settled in, but now they really know where they want to take the direction of the game, and they've made two pretty big patches back to back.
Yeah, well, we have things getting buffed, like Xayah. They're also trying to move Xayah out of her reliance of Essence Reaver, so it's kind of opening up more build paths. I saw Sushi earlier looking at Yuntal's Xayah. Ryze's ultimate getting changed so it no longer predicts player movement. So that's
good.
going to be impactful. It will be
Stone's
significantly
back in
more.
playoffs.
Yeah, it is going to be significantly more, I guess, consistent. So you don't feel trolled, and there won't be 60-minute long pauses over an ability that's been in the game since Ryze's last rework, or whatever that was at this point. Speaking of champions that got nerfed, Philios and Abessa both getting nerfed here. Abessa getting most notably nerfed only in the jungle, specifically her jungle clear numbers. They don't want to affect her top lane too much because they think she's in a good spot. Philios, base AD changes. It's a total of 6 base AD when you have your Q maxed out. So
Massive.
Yeah, turbo massive. It's 1 base AD, and then it goes up by 1 each tick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Varus, though, has not gotten changed. I will literally kill you on broadcast. Varus has not gotten changed, so still will be the best AD carry. And right behind him is, of course, the flexibility of the Unar.
Yeah, very strong champion. And I mean, with these bans that come out from both sides, you can kind of guarantee, depending on support matchup, you can kind of guarantee wave prior, unless you want to go something like a Caitlyn Karma. Maybe SGR here just say, we really want this bot lane prio. I feel like the game is not as much as it was back then, but it is kind of pulling back to a little bit more of that 2022 league style where we are really reliant on bot lane priority. Back then it was because of jungle, but now the dragon stacking being so important, those the third scuttle crab spawn giving level 6 to the jungler, giving you your upgraded smite as well, and be super impactful to how the game is right now. I want to quickly as well call back to the Xayah Essence Reaver thing, because it's a good thing, it's a fun thing making champions build different items, but who's going to build Essence Reaver then? No one's building it already. I feel like that item hasn't really landed where we've wanted it to, but very strong starts. The Xin Zhao are a very good skirmishing 2v2 here. The Orianna and the Jax is a nice little flexible jungler, can go into the Xin Zhao, it's a good matchup, or can just be top blind with some bans here.
Yeah, I mean, Also, you have Orianna, who is still in contention for the best mid laner for this entire season so far.
Yeah.
You know, maybe contestable with Ryze, but Ryze has been getting countered by Anivia more recently, so that's been kind of harder to pull off. So I guess you can say, you know, debatably Orianna being the best mid laner on the patch, especially now that Syndra got nerfed as well. Syndra getting nerfed kind of lets the Orianna not have to deal with getting killed by the Syndra, which means, you know, easier lane phase for the Orianna here, but some Bard bans, Karma bans, not at all suspected. Now, this being said, will be the Nico support. Still strong. And you, of course, unfortunately, if you have the displeasure of watching Andil play Nico, you will find out, actually, the strength of Nico, because even if you miss 9 out of 10 of your ults, as long as you hit the one that wins the game, it doesn't matter, because that's all you gotta do. You only have to hit the one. That's... Oh, man, not Soraka, man. Oh, come on.
Well, look, we've got enough engage. We've got a Zinzao, we've got an Ahri, there's an Ornn front line. But Boy Kisser trying to make the lane a little bit easier down in bot lane. And this is another thing that's been changed recently too. There's a hen jungle, the Zahungle, getting a bit more priority in the draft. It can still be a flex, right? You can still have the Jax in the top lane, there's a hen in the jungle, or vice versa. The Jax in the jungle, there's a hen in the top lane. I think that both of them are okay into the Ornn. There's a hen having the, you know, the passive pen, being good into the Ornn, but then, you know, maybe you want the Jax in the top lane so that there's a hen can kind of have an easy time farming. But, I mean, I think the game has been very dragon focused Oz throughout this year. It's very skirmishy down those dragons. With the removal of feats of strength out of Khan, it's been a big pull away from the Grubs and the Herald in terms of priority. So I think that both of these comps do a pretty good job of fighting around those objectives, especially, you know, with the Caitlyn, the Orianna, the Nico, the space denial that these champions can provide.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side as well, the uniqueness of how they can approach their engages will help phenomenally against that, because at the end of the day, you have to mark the Ahri. Call of the Forge God can come in from pretty long range here, and they also have some decent sustain with the Soraka. Now, of course, Boykisser69 has to position very well to get the most out of the sustain coming out of the Soraka, because if the Nico does happen to ever find a Pop Blossom on the Soraka, that Raka is 100% just dying. So a lot of positional necessity here for Boykisser. Otherwise, you know, might be 4v5 in a majority of fights if you position even slightly wrong. I think SGR's comp is a little bit better here, because like, while the Soraka's gonna help the Yunara, you know, sustain under the tower against the Caitlyn, at the end of the day, like, the team fighting from SGR is just so much more cohesive that I think, in theory here, should be a pretty easy win. Of course, SGR being 0-2. But of course, with those roster changes, as mentioned previously, I think they should be in a better spot. I was gonna say maybe they play Lux here, because they did buff Lux in general on this patch. But it won't be the Lux. Nico is still right there, still strong, so why not?
Very strong. I feel I've been talking about it a lot. I think this champion is really, really good. Like, top priority. I know that some teams don't end up going towards it, but I think that the lane is super good and the team fighting is excellent. And even though they removed the cannon thing, you've still got the, I guess, like, I don't know, is it a bug now? You can still do the base in the bush and it extends it. They said they were going to fix that and then never did. But I will say, I mean, Boy Kisser got kind of full counted here. Or not full counted, but they picked 3 girls. And there's only 2 boys on the other team.
That's true.
Like, he's at negative odds here.
That's true, and guess what, as well? Zahin also might be a Boy Kisser. Like, look at that. Like, I don't know. So, might not be great.
Like, he was a different guy. Actually, we have lore accurate. We've got Zinzao versus Zahin. That's
well,
crazy.
it's not really lore accurate because Xin Zhao just gave himself up, so it would be more lore accurate to have them both in the same team. Bro is not caught up in his lore chat. Get on this guy.
I'm actually about the lore.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Every day. I got it. Back to the game. I really appreciate the Bard Karma bans. I thought that was fantastic from Mirage overall because Bard is an insane support. I'm actually surprised more teams don't play it. It is hard. It's very unique. And it's kind of like the dilemma of like when Lee Sin is really good, is it worth your time and effort to try and practice that champ? Because if the champion is just nerfed, right? Then it's a big problem. Also, Zach making his appearance here instead of the Zen, but that's okay. Don't you worry about that.
We'll figure it out.
Will be the Jax jungle, of course. Into the Zen's out. The tried and true counter. Hey, speaking of, I think we have game.
Getting onto the Rift for game number 1. Have a look across the board here. Something that we've been seeing pop up a little more, Oz, is the combat summoners in mid. Girly Pop has the Ghost instead of, the traditional TP, so a little bit more combat power with that summoner spell. I feel like the mid lane has had the most, would you call it system changes? Summoner spells being different, taking, boots early in the game, like rushing those tier 1 boot or tier 2 boots, sorry, so that you can get the upgrade towards the boots. I feel like that's the role that has made the most, what you see changes for this season, whereas a lot of the other changes are obviously the quests, the TP getting the shield, the ADC getting the extra item slot, and boots being taken over to the extra slot there. You were given supports having, more gold accrual, which is also a pretty impactful change. Like supports, especially the enchanters having more gold, means that they do scale more than they did last year.
I would say that like mid is technically the thing that you see the most changes out of, but like things like the tier 2 boots were already kind of happening in certain matchups, like rushing Merc Treads into Syndra, right? Like, so it's not 100% of the time. Like it is still pretty common for mid laners to rush their tier 2. Is some nice trading here from SEW, and Girly popping back on that trade there, as I should say, slaying in the mid lane. As
Nice.
yeah, I'm hip with the kids. Hip with the kids. As Sehen getting a nice little shove here on the top side, where something that has been interesting. Nice trade back here from Do You Need a House? Is that all the way back when Malphite jungle got buffed, and of course we had all the top laners coming into the jungle. Ornn also got buffed, but we haven't seen a lot of it. And I was actually having this conversation off camera during my AML cast about why that was, and it's because Ornn really utilizes the top quest really well. But here comes the gank in the mid lane.
We'll have to use Flash here at least, or maybe just going forwards for the kill in exchange, but no. It was actually the Nico roam, not Jax, and I think a big overstep here from Steel City Warrior. Instead of just using the Flash and going backwards, tries to commit for the 1v1, for the 1-for-1, and ends up just dying.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if flashing forward gets the kill, but opts to not flash nonetheless, and does go down, despite Fails actually missing the root. Havoc here getting a lot of pressure down in this top lane.
That was good. Little chunk damage. Havoc's going to dive because of the passive, but will go down and will also just overstep and die. There is nothing he can do here, and this is 2 back-to-back deaths. 1 on each team, where I'm kind of scratching my head.
I mean, I respect it going for the playing top, but I mean, Ornn having flash just makes it so difficult, and your E is just so slow, so you're really never killing with E there. It's just so reactable, unless it's point blank. But great flash coming out of Do You Need a House? will be able to go back, picks up the Bramble Vest, which will make this lane a little bit harder here for this ahead. Now, of course, will still be able to sustain himself off of the wave with this Q, so it's not like he's like forced to auto attack the Ornn. But still, Ornn getting ahead and getting some breathing room in this matchup certainly impactful. As I was just mentioning, his ability to utilize the top quest, getting out these ornaments far earlier than he used to for a tank, is actually incredibly impactful here for the champion overall. As I do really appreciate that, like, Ornn has kind of been like this staple coming back as a as kind of a tank option. Because Scion is usually getting banned, right? Because the champ is just insane. And Cassante doesn't have as many good matchups as he used to. Like, he's only being realistically played into Rumble, and there's not very many Rumble players, let's be honest. He also did just get nerfed on this patch. But Rumble being a very hard champion to master because of how aggressive you have to play the lane, does dissuade him a little bit. So Ornn kind of taking the place of Cassante is nice to see. And again, I think with the top lane quest, he's just so ridiculous as long as he can actually get the XP, but it's pretty easy to do. But gank in the mid lane.
Looking for this charm. It will hit, and Gollipop falling down for another kill in the mid lane. The second death for SGR, but they will take up the dragon. It's the Hextech Drake first. That'll be secured away pretty easily, but this Orianna, that has such a strong laning phase, has fallen down for the second time here. Fallen down for the first time here after getting the assist in the previous encounter, but being pushed out of that lane doesn't feel very good. Now, nice silence from Boykisser will interrupt this engage and mean that nothing else happens down in the bot lane.
Yeah, not even needing to burn the heal, and a big issue here is that this Caitlyn has been shoved in essentially the entire lane, and if you are playing Caitlyn, not exactly where you want to be, because you kind of want to be pressuring their tower, utilizing your headshot passive, but it seems like Reaches and Boykisser have this bot lane completely under wraps here, as finally they will start getting the priority back, shoving towards the bot tier 1 tower here. Bobby, but it looks like they're going to take a reset. It's also Cull Caitlyn, which very odd.
Nice little shockwave in the mid lane from Gollipop, as both of these mid laners are scrapping. The charm earlier and the electrocute proc, and then the shockwave onto Steel City Warrior to even out the trade just a little bit, but Gollipop will take a base. But yeah, the priority in bot hasn't been ringing through, but the CS is, up 10 right now. Bobby will be zoned away from a couple of minions here, but both AD carries having the Cull means that both of them, not playing as aggressive as you maybe could. I think Caitlyn Nico is a very scary lane, and it could look a lot worse for the bot lane of Stasis Gaming Mirage, but the Soraka does provide a lot of safety. Normally, when we see like a Caitlyn lane, especially a Caitlyn lane that has double range supports, see here, you see jungle involvement, and that's what we're seeing right here. But it's the other jungler, Waffles, coming down and putting pressure on this Caitlyn Nico lane. I feel like what I was going to say is when a lane looks like this in bot lane, you need to have jungle involvement like all the time, covering, allowing your Caitlyn Nico to play. And when you're allowing Optic Waffles to come down here and make the lane look like this, the Caitlyn Nico loses so much value.
Yeah, on the other side of the map, though, they are going to get free grubs, so it's going to be the first 2 jungle objectives being taken for free here for Stasis Gaming Resurgence, which is the consolation. Sure, your Caitlyn is shoved in, but Caitlyn has been wanting to try and back here for a bit, and has been kind of jailed a little bit under tower. Saw them try to back before that gank came through. It got canceled. Gank comes through while under tier 1, so Caitlyn has just been kind of forced to stay, but should mean, especially with the CS lead that Bobby has built here for himself, that should be a really nice back Now, curious to see what he's itemizing. We kind of went through this period of like Caitlyn's building Hex Optics, first item, and that was kind of like, half and half collector as well. Now we started seeing Caitlyn's build the Storm Razor, sorry, instead of the Hex Optics first item. So curious to see which first item it will be this game as Bobby continues to stick around here. Transcendent State is about to be back up here for Regis. Was popped earlier on that gank attempt, which forced out the flash of the Nico. Havoc in this top side. Down CS.
Yeah, I did a little bit. He's ulting here, though. Let's hope we don't commit under the tower, but we will, and he will just die.
As I was,
look. I hear it. I hear the emotion.
As I was talking about, his
Thank
E
you,
is
thank
really slow. It happens again. Do you need a house?
No.
Playing really well.
Bad. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to move on, all right? That never happened. Zahen died. I didn't see it on screen. Caitlyn based. She's building Yunta. Oh, no, this is Storm Surge. The Storm Razor. You got me with the Storm Surge. Storm Surge Caitlyn, like, does she have any AP ratios at all?
This is, I mean... Yeah.
I've been informed the Calvin net has AP ratio. So Storm Surge Caitlyn, like, you get the easy proc of that burst damage. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. I think Caitlyn should really itemize Storm Surge. But
you could go Dusk and Dawn too, and you could get the extra passive auto. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Put me in the kitchen.
Yeah, true. So Storm Razor here for the Caitlyn. Like I said, Bright is trying so hard to get a Hex Optics build, but it can't fit into a build right now. Root coming through.
Yeah.
As the second Drake of the game is being started here at Gebetto, as now it is kind of up to Stasis Gaming and Mirage to actually do something here. They've been kind of giving up these neutral objectives, looking like they're going to walk through the bot side of the river.
Oh, flash for flash as Steel City Warriors charm goes wide. It's a flip, though, on the dragon, and it will go over to this Jax. Red side takes the dragon, but a huge engage. The pop hits 3 on the backside, but Steel City Warriors zoning the damage, and SGM will wipe the fight. They lose the dragon, but it's a double kill for this Yunara.
Well, they get the Drake, but it's 3 kills over to SGM. The Yunara now 2-0, as you mentioned. Really, Pop does need to be careful here. Charm will go wide. Okay, yeah.
Look, we're going to stop diving tower, guys. We are going to stop diving the tower because it is becoming painful to watch. Please,
man. Please. That's just unfortunate. The minion dies. Wasn't able to get out of tower range because the W was already used. Bit unfortunate death there for SCW. But nonetheless. To talk about the previous fight, right? Optic Waffles with a fantastic Crescent Guard flash forward hits every single member of SGR. And yeah, while Fails gets a phenomenal Pop Blossom, it just doesn't matter. Like, they have no damage, no HP left. The Caitlyn wasn't set up at all for that play. And it's a nice teamfight victory here for Stasis Gaming Mirage as the woes of SGR continue in this game. But, of course, Caitlyn does have one item now. Is down in gold a little bit here. About 600 gold down or so. But the one thing I really, wish was happening is, we talked about it earlier, it's like this Caitlyn Nico, I feel like really isn't getting value at all. In terms of in terms of like the aggressiveness. So
Bobby in that dragon fight came in late to the dragon, set up one trap, and then Optic Waffles just ran directly past it. Now we're having a TP in bot lane, so this situation is looking very dire for the bot lane of SGR as the charm will hit, and instantly Bobby will be taken down. Pop Blossom will hit 2 on the front line, But the Nico will be taken down as well. A nice double kill. And the macro from SGM, these team fights, Oz, they're just better.
I mean, they're all there as well. Like, you know, SCW with a nice teleport. Optic Waffles is there. And you talked a little bit that, you know, that you do need jungle attention here. You know, when you're playing Caitlyn, that's actually one of the biggest reasons why Caitlyn was so popular is because junglers were just passively setting bot anyways. But, you know, now we're in a different kind of meta. As actually, hold that thought. We'll be fine. Move speed is
Good
a
shoes.
good stat, you know. Good stat here.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, not my
it's an okay.
favorite.
Yeah. But, you know, Mag's not really present here on the Jack so far this game. As Havoc will try his luck again.
Please. Not again. He's ulting under the tower. Do you need a house? Finds the knock up, and it's looking dire for a third time in a row. Optic Waffles will come over. The res will come through as well. But the Call of the Forge God will seal his fate. And another dive for Havoc goes awry.
I have no words. I have no words.
Oh, I actually worries about this bot lane play. And they will immediately get cut off because there is no fight. Mags is around here, spotted on a ward. But with the Soraka healing, Boykisser should be able to keep this lane fairly safe.
The one benefit of Mags kind of not being present on the map is the CS lead he's generating himself, right? Like, he is 30 CS up. The issue, though, is, like, your entire lane, like, all of your lanes here, save for maybe mid lane, are really struggling. Like, your Caitlyn has gotten very little value this game. It's 0-2. Charm will go wide there, unfortunately, for SCW, but, you know, your top lane, Havoc is Havoc. Wreaking havoc, I think, on maybe my mental.
Yep.
As Bobby here in the bot lane, you know, is 0-2 on this Caitlyn into the Yunara, which, of course, this is kind of like a whatever lane for the Yunara. It's not like it's a hard counter or anything. She can play just fine into it. But, like, look, the Soraka just doesn't care.
Oh, we're going for another dive. This time, we brought friends. And Mags will find a shutdown. Havoc would have 100% died if he had done that by himself. But the tower is taken over. So lane 1 is what I'm seeing here.
Yep. But this will be the first dragon over to SGM. Is the Infernal Soul this game, as you can see. Now, a lot of damage here on the side of SGM. A lot of upfront burst between, like, the Aries and Zao. He has some great consistent damage coming through with the Yunara. Even some decent burst as well. As Optic Waffles.
Counter-Strike will find Optic Waffles and chunk him down below half. A little bit over 1,000 health remaining. The Herald was used in mid, but it didn't find a ton. And earlier, Oz, when you brought up the CS advantage for the jungle position for Mags, there's a nice little base cancel here. You did bring my eyes to the junglers on the scoreboard, on the tab here, and I did see that Optic Waffles has Titanic Hydra first item, and I don't know how I feel about that, but SGR do trade back. They trade positively, getting back another tower, this time the mid lane one. So they've got 2 dragons. They're down a little bit of gold here, and the tempo vibes have definitely been in Mirage's favor in the early game of the early stages of this game, but down in bot lane, Steel City Warrior finding a 1v3 and finds the kill. But SGR will clean him up nonetheless, but a brilliant 1v3 finds the kill on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic play from SCW. I mean, did initiate that play, so a little over-aggressive, but speaking of over-aggression, thought Fails might take the bait there a little bit.
Had it in spades so far in this game. Shockwave will hit 2 and clear up the full wave. Optic Waffles walks in. And 1 auto with the crystalline overgrowth will kill that tower. I've been saying it a couple of times when I've been casting recently. I'm going to say it again here. Hitting that crystalline, like, maybe that's what Havoc was doing. Maybe he was like, I just need to kill Do You Need a House so I can get that proc. Because that is the most satisfying thing in the game right now. And I, too, would sacrifice myself 3 times in a row to get that proc. Because it is so good. It feels so good. But ornament items are coming in.
producer just called them dumb, by the way, so that's what the laughing is for. But hey, look, the one thing I dislike about Crystalline Overgrowth, now that we're talking about it, and we did like kind of allude to this a little bit, is just how strong like getting priority in bot lane is because of the Drake stacking. The reason
Yeah.
Drake stacking is so strong right now is because of kind of no other answer. Crystalline Overgrowth does the job of Rift Herald and Grubs at the same time. So you really don't need either Void objective besides Baron, but that's kind of a later game. As actually, Charm goes wide.
I will go wide, and movement speed is a good stat, but Girly Pop did juke a little bit back in. The ball there and the threat of the dissonance will dissuade, but now SGR on the chase here. Mags is silenced, but the counter-strike will miss. Optic Waffles finds a really nice knock-up and forces a flash at a Girly Pop as Bobby tries to join as well. Mags takes a bit of a chunk here. It was actually Fails who was hiding disguised as Mags. And I'm not... Well, hold on. Havoc, please. I see it. I see he wants it. But we're up here in top lane again. Nice charm will hit onto Fails, and he gets one shot. Pop Blossom was available and Flash was too, and now that crucial team fighting aspect is gone. Down in the bot lane, Havoc will not try for the dive, or will he? He's losing the 1v1, even with passive fully stacked. The ult goes up, the healing comes through, and Havoc will take the solo kill. Finally, he gets one on the board.
Yeah, nerf towers, okay? This time, no
That's
tower
what he's
involved
saying
here.
right now.
No, this one, I will actually glaze Havoc here a little bit. Actually, I'll hold that. Regis in danger is just dead.
One shot.
So, yeah, it's just dead. Anyways, Havoc actually spaces perfectly to get the Bramble Vest, like Grievous Wounds off before he Grim Deliverances, so he gets the max amount of HP heal there. Really well played. Just a bit unfortunate that earlier, as SCW does have the
Charm will
here.
hit. Mags will take a little bit of damage on his own route, but will, like you said, force out the ult from Steel City Warrior. 40 seconds on this Drake Oz, and no flash on both carries of SGR, and no flash on this Ari as well. But I think that Yunari here, working on third item, Caitlyn still doesn't have her second. I feel like you need Infinity Edge for this fight. You've got upgraded Kraken Slayer. Well, this will catch Steel City Warrior, and this will take him down. Nice Shockwave, even despite the Soraka ult, will mean that SGM are down a member here. So even though I was talking about Caitlyn not having Infinity Edge, well, she is actually not even here. You've got Zahen on the top wave, you've got Caitlyn on this mid wave, so SGR are really not connected together here. So they're down on Ari, but they're starting up this Drake. TP in from Zahen behind will pull SGM out instantly into the silence, but the Grim Deliverance will hit two on the front line. A really nice knockup from Ornn, and Fails again out of the fight. Havoc in the front line can't do anything. SGM are down a member, and they are smashing this fight. Bobby falls down. He just doesn't have the damage, and SGM will win this fight handedly as they take down a shutdown off of Mags. Girly Pop will get one, but he'll fall down two. A massacre for SGM.
Well, SGR, yeah, like, sure, you picked the Ari, but you have nothing left. Also, Havoc teleporting into a very precarious position, forced to Grim Deliverance early, which is not at all what you want to use your Grim Deliverance for. And then still almost dies. Is forced to flash away. This can be Baron here for SGM, unless SGR have something to say about it. Burn is a little bit slow here. It is an earlier Baron, but Havoc is going to be here. Blue Trinket coming through.
You know, he likes to dive in and give his life for the greater cause, and sometimes there isn't a cause he gives his life for, but he's going to try this time with just the W. He will not go over the wall. A little bit of reserve here on the side of SGR. They'll lose the Baron, but Austin, now these items are being completed for SGR. These important items, right? Infinity Edge is completed. You've got 2 items on both Jax and Zahen, and this Orianna build that I'm not really convinced by, the Seraphs and the Cosmic Drive, but it is 2 items across the board. The problem is that you've just given over Baron. You've just lost your soul point advantage you could have had if you had played a little bit more cohesively after that pick on Ari. And now it's in Stasis Gaming Mirage's hands to see what they can do with this Baron.
Yeah, I mean, I think, right, like, Bobby is clearing mid wave because it's shoved all the way in. But then it also leaves Bobby in a really weird spot trying to walk to this fight. But in reality, at every single objective fight, you want your Caitlyn there to set down traps so they are forced to walk another way or walk into the trap, right? But that wasn't present. And also utilizing both Shockwave and Pop Blossom there on the pick on the Ahri means they don't have it for the fight, and that is their most impactful ultimates for a team fight that they have. So yes, you do get the Ahri, but at the end of the day, like your two ultimates might in fact be more impactful than a singular Ahri kill. Just looking at your comp here, ace in the hole, you know, super impactful in team fights. You know, you cast that in somebody's face, I'm sure it's going to do something.
Well, if we had AP, then it would do
yeah,
even
true,
more.
yeah,
You get
true,
the ultimate across.
true. But this should be mid tier 2 getting chipped down eventually here.
Taking them a while. I mean, they're taking some damage on the other side. These, oh, there's the Shockwave and the Boy Kisser, but it won't really amount to a whole lot. Do you need a house? Dashes forward. He needs some help here, not a house, and he will die. Pop Blossom hits 2 on the front line, and oh no, SGM have overstepped, but have they? They have a lot of damage. Oz. Bobby can't do enough to this Crescent Guard as it immunes, but Mags will go forward and find a stun. Girly Pop and Bobby, the last 2 remaining, as they will desperately try. Down on the bot side, Steel City Warrior has base and is stopping Havoc from doing anything. The ult will come through, but he will not get the revive passive. This is getting scrappy in the mid lane. It is getting weird, and Optic Waffles will go forward with a Sundered Sky, and he will be shut down by Girly Pop. Blood is spilled on both sides, but SGR hold their towers against the Baron.
I can't help but think if Havoc is here at this fight, it's a complete wipe of SGM, and all of their Baron buffs are just gone besides FCW. Great find from SGR initially, but they just really don't have the damage. Soraka, I doubted it in draft, and I'm, you know, having to bite my tongue here in, you know, 0, 1, and 13. Dawncore is unlocked. The Moonstone as well finished here for the Soraka, who is doing so much work in keeping, you know, SGM alive in these fights. And more importantly as well, like, the Orianna Shockwaves, solo Shockwaves the Soraka, and I swear to God the Soraka actually gained HP from that engagement, so not sure why an Enchanter support is taking all of Orianna's burst and living it, but the Rabadon's Death Cap is available here after that shutdown, so for the Orianna, so might be able to one-shot this poor Soraka now. As we are 40 seconds to soul point for either team here, Chibetto. Very important fight. Game is still kind of close. 2,000 gold separates these two teams. Baron has obviously fallen off at this point. But it is kind of coming down to the wire here for SGR. Bobby, I feel like, is just really struggling. Like, look at the item disparity here.
Yeah.
Yunara already working on the IE. Finished up with the Immortal Shield bow, actually. Looks like they're actually opting to just straight up give this soul point. So SGM won't even get anything, I don't think.
Yeah, pretty
like,
hard to play
this streak is gone. They just are losing this for completely free.
Yeah, pretty hard to play the Caitlyn without the Prio. And I think that SGM, their Baron Siege wasn't the best, and they're kind of all just grouped down mid, and it was just tanking Orianna balls to the face. And I felt like you maybe could have played a bit slower on 2 lanes. But SGM have 3 Infernal Dragon Soul Point. So if they're getting the next one, that's very scary. A lot of extra damage coming through from that. But yeah, I'm not convinced by this Orianna build either. The Rabadons now and the pen will mean that some damage will start to come through, but I'm not necessarily convinced. I think that unless you're a team that can really play slow, the Roa build, like the Roa Seraphs build, and it's not even Roa this game, right, is something that I would kind of argue you shouldn't go towards, because it does take a long time to come online, and oftentimes teams outside of a professional setting do really prefer to play fast and take team fights aggressively, and I think that's where you're going to find a lot of your value. Anyway, the Ornn upgrades across the board are coming through. We're just waiting on one more from Optic Waffles. We are in a world where you're upgrading your support's enchanter item before your jungler's item, because of the fact that supports are getting more gold in this game, in the game now, so have the opportunity to build up some more. The gold is sitting at only like a 1.5k deficit, and at 30 minutes odds, 55,000 gold. The gold is very, unimpactful. It's more about these item spike completions. And speaking about that, Yunara, like you were talking about, has 4 items now. As Bobby will finish his 3rd, but he is a full item down. So the gold across the entire team isn't that bad. Most roll to roll is okay, but the ADC position is very, very rough here, especially with that Kraken Ornament. So much damage as I think SGM setting up a little bit of vision around this Baron.
Havoc
There's a lot of healing here, but will be forced to flash away. Steel City Warrior does have flash on his own, and Havoc will be able to get out there, but it's been a bit of a tough game from Havoc. I mean, like you said, not connecting to these fights, and then not finding the most success in the 1v1s outside that solo kill, but we're at the Baron. Mags is coming around the bot side. Fails is coming around the top side. Pop Blossom will hit 1. And over the backline goes Mag. It finds 2 with the shockwave and will take down Boy Kisser. Havoc has connected to this fight, but Yunara is doing a lot of damage. On the other side, Optic Waffles will fall down. He just can't buy enough space. And because of the HP bar of Yunara, she just can't do enough in this fight. The dive was so good. Hang on, Steel City Warrior is doing a lot of damage here. We'll get a bit of healing from his passive.
No way.
Finds the charm. Havoc too far forward. Will find 1 for a double kill. And it looks like a triple kill. So SGM get completely destroyed in this fight from a really nice fight combo from Mags and Girly Pop.
Yeah, I mean, SGM get caught out, and most importantly, it's the Soraka who goes down first. Like, that just completely shuts down SGM's kind of like con, right? Like, as long as you can survive the initial burst, the Soraka is there to kind of, sustain you through that. And we actually saw the amount of HP she was able to give back to the Yunara, who was also caught by, the Counter-Strike into Shockwave combo there. And the Soraka last-ditch effort saves the Yunara for so long, but goes down. And yeah, a big issue with that is the Soraka is there to try and sustain, but unfortunately, if that goes down first, you don't have that sustain anymore. And funnily enough, we were talking about Havoc struggling, but that fight played it very well. Picks up a triple kill there, makes up for his past sins, and it's now an even game state here with SGR finally with a gold lead here. Baron is up on their side. Getting some nice mid push here before the Soul Point Drake for themselves spawns in. But could be Soul if they make a mistake here for SGM. And the Yunara, who is already pumping that damage, and this Ahri as well, who did so much work in that last fight. If they can, net themselves this Infernal Soul, maybe a fight like that for SGR never happens again.
I don't know how SGM have gotten priority over the river here against Baron. It feels very uncomfortable that SGM have been able to walk in at all, get some vision, and now Mags. Oh, beautiful Pop Blossom. It's 3 on the back line, and Havoc is in, and everybody gets hit by the Shockwave, and SGM just fall over. Oz, that will just be it. There is nothing SGM can do. There isn't a wave, but they still have Baron for another minute. A beautiful team fight synergy here from SGR.
Hey, remember what I said about Nico? It doesn't matter if you miss 10 ultimates,
Yep.
You just need to find the one, and fails. Finds it at the most pinnacle hour in this game. 33 minutes in, and they're pushing to end. Do you need a house? I think, do you need a team to save your base here, buddy? As he's going to go down here as well. And this is going to be game SGR. After a very shaky game 1, will take this one easily. My god, fails. Disgusting engage find. I thought he went a little bit too early, but it was just perfect. Just perfect there. Everything, all stars aligned. And SGR bounced back in a game that rightfully they should have not have won in the first place.
I mean, I was promised a civil war when I woke up this morning to cast this game, and that is what we're getting so far. A lot of scrapping, a lot of civil war fighting amongst these two teams. I think that for our blue side here, they had some great fights connected to these objectives, and then that Baron throw, that cost them everything. I mean, they were down 2 Drakes at the start, sure. That does feel bad, but I mean, if you can just get 4 Drakes in a row after that, it doesn't really matter. They start the Baron and lose everything after Boykisser falls down. And our red side here, able to kind of win the game off of 2 really good fights, 2 really good Pop Blossoms. One really good Pop Blossom, 2 really good Shockwaves back to back. Kind of end the game by itself.
Yeah, do not look Caitlyn damage. Everything is fine. SGR able to, again, like I said, bounce back. They probably rightfully, honestly, should not have even won that game because it just felt like SGM out macroing them the entire game, save for like the early objectives. Like, even if, right, like Optic Waffles had made like an earlier play around like the second Drake spawn, because of the problems that were happening bot lane already, and they get that Drake, that probably nets them soul, and then the game is just completely over. Like the Yunara has such a lead on the Caitlyn, and the Ahri also, who was just doing so much damage, even to, like we saw earlier, on the Zehen in the side lane, and that was without soul, right? If you get that Ahri the soul, Zehen's getting one shot, and if Zehen's getting one shot, everyone else on SGR is getting one shot there, but SGR are able to, stave off some of the nerves and climb themselves to a hard-earned Game 1 victory.
And I mean, they'll be scratching their heads a little bit after that loss, feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but we've still got more Civil War action. We're going to go to a short break and then get into our draft for game 2. We'll see you soon.
550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Welcome back from our break. We are still here, JBetter on Aussie, for SGM and SGR, Stasis Gaming, Mirage, and Resurgence, playing off against each other in the Stasis Gaming Civil War. But also, we've got a little bit of content to do first.
Yeah, we have, our usual kiss, marry, kill. Of course, if you're unfamiliar with what this is, replace kiss with another bad word, and you'll figure out what it is very quickly. All of us agreeing on killing Caitlyn, because that is just not Caitlyn. I hate to tell you, that is just not Caitlyn, which is why I'm killing Caitlyn, because it just is so much not Caitlyn.
I just can't. Yeah. Golden says what I'm more thinking, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that she doesn't do it for me. You know, she likes girls. I'm not a girl.
Ah, I see. Of course, everyone here but me marrying Seraphine, I have to say that I will never marry Seraphine. In fact, if I could kill two people, I would kill both Caitlyn and Seraphine. Because Seraphine killed Skarner's kind, so justice for Skarner. I'm not forgetting about that, right? Yeah, I don't care. I don't care, Golden. I don't care if the lore is gone. It happened initially, okay? Which leaves me with my only
that's
option.
why I am marrying Seraphine, actually.
Oh, true. Based, buddy. Based. And of course, I'm marrying Ash because I had no other options. And of course, that is also just not Ash.
So he could have killed all three if he had the choice, because that's just what he's like. But, I mean, look at that skin. Look at the dress. That's all I've got to say. And I know that Golden agrees, because I heard her say before.
That is true. That is true. That is true. And, you know, I might also be keen on certain figures of, you know, what is represented in the dress. But overall,
I like the dude in the back left.
I'm so tired of, like, champions getting skins and then they just don't look anything like the champion. Like, can we please get back to making skins where the champions at least look somewhat similar to what they look like normally?
This guy. True, the fire horse.
Yes. She also has the horse ears with her hair, in case you didn't notice that.
That skin easily. That Chinese New Year was like the other day.
Yep.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Yep. Happy Red Envelope Day to all the friends, of course. Hopefully, if you celebrate, of course, which is, you know, the biggest factor. But yeah, I think hashtag I hate Seraphine in the chat. Thank you.
I mean, Loki's been like deafened the entire time, but I don't know what her opinions are. I assume it's very similar to Golden. I need to hear Loki's opinions on this Ash skin. Is she a similar Ash enjoyer?
Yeah, we gotta get the lowdown on that. But regardless, you know, to move away a little bit from KMK here, not like draft is ready or anything, but to move away a little bit to get us back on track. SGR coming back from that last game. Definitely a bit of a shaky one for both teams, I would say. I think that game really, although the gold lead looked, you know, very small, I think SGM were really in control of the game in general, just due to how, like, the map state was. But SGR fails on that Nico being one of the most important members of SGR's comeuppance in that game. And providing them with the win, finding a phenomenal engage to end us the game. So Nico not on the table, thankfully, here to play against. Same for that Orianna, girly pop, slaying the foes of SGM.
Nice. I think we should keep that up. No matter, even if it's like somehow like Yone versus Yasuo in the mid lane, it's still, we need to keep that going. But pretty similar bans to our game one. The Talia, I believe, is a different one. I don't think you saw the Talia and the Nami from the first set of bans, but the Abessa, the Tryndamere, the Aphelios, all things that got banned away in game one. And first pick for SGM here. What does Mirage want to pick? It's the Wukong, an early jungle selection similar to game 1. And that was obviously the Xin Zhao. But this time, the Wukong, I mean, has some great pairings in the mid lane, has some great pairings in the top lane. I mean, my thoughts immediately go over to like a Wukong Rumble, but are these teams going to prioritize the Rumble? To be seen, but Mundo, it's kind of come down in priority a little bit, but it's still very scary in the right hands.
Yeah, I mean, also, Mundo is kind of like the hit or miss champion, I think, in the jungle right now. Like, it either looks so insane or it just looks completely useless. So, let's hope here that the Mundo does not struggle. Boykisser 69 gonna be picking up the Lulu there. And, to answer your question about what SGM are gonna first pick, I gotta get into my Professor X mentality here. I think they're gonna first pick Wukong here. As, great jungler, speaking of. And it's gonna be Cog Lulu. Now, Lucian Nami into Cog Lulu.
But it's banned.
Your Honor. Yeah.
Your Honor, that's not legal.
Alright, ignore the ban.
Okay.
Ignore the ban.
Fair
But
enough.
I do find this Lucian Nami pick interesting because the Lulu able to poly. It's actually something that was like getting teched into the Lucian Nami back when it was really popular. You just polymorph Lucian when he dashes in, and he can't actually trade. So that's gonna be the Varus ban, which is consistent from last game. Of course, sides also did not swap, which pretty interesting. Usually, you see teams wanting to, swap things up, get their minds kind of back into it. But Gnar getting blind picked here for SGR. A bit of an odd one. Jax, of course, has been already played, so it's not like Jax can be counterpicked into it. Also kind of shuts out things like the Scion, but hey, Shin is going to be
We were just talking about ninjas on the, or in the break, about there are a lot of ninjas in this game in League, and this is one of them. What is going to be the mid lane selection here? No Talia, no Ryze, no Syndra, the Anivia Blind. So what is the answer for Girly Pop here? Is it going to be something that can engage onto the Anivia? Is it something that can match the range? Hui. I think for SGR they need some kind of late game, and that is late game. That's a very tough lane, but we are picking Kassadin in 2026.
He did get nerfed, literally on this patch. In fact, also to mention, I don't know why Mirage are banning Ryze when Anivia has been the most teched mid laner into the Ryze as of recent. Maybe just not comfortable in the matchup yet, which is understandable, of course. You also don't have the roam potential, so you could be worried about maybe, because you aren't a pro team, as it turns out, you might not be as good at defending against those roams. But this Kassadin pick is definitely the X Factor pick, but SGM's comp, I feel like they just don't have a comp. They're just like, the Moon Knight meme of random BS go,
Yes.
Exactly. Like just throwing just random things out there. Of course, got some scalability with the Kassadin. That's something to be, worried about. You have the Lucian Nami, who realistically shouldn't get the upper hand of the Coglulu because of, the polymorph. And on top of that, I wonder if the Kog'Maw is going to go the Crowny build that he has been experimenting with. It will not be the PTA, will be the Lethal Tempo. But he has been teching into some Dusk and Dawn first item.
Ew, Crowny's been going there, has he?
Yeah, he's been building Dusk and Dawn first item because you get an immediate double proc of your W, like auto attack. So you actually get a lot of like upfront bursts, which is why he's playing it with PTA. Because you get like double hit of the PTA, and then you just need one more auto attack to proc it. So
We're talking about how many dogs there are in this game too. Does this count as one? The dog Cogmore skin?
I mean, it's a skin. So.
But it is a dog.
Corky, like, would you count like Corky's like corgi skin to count?
Corky skin.
There are a lot Fizz's of dog skin. No, right?
True. Wait, maybe I am counting.
This is a fish.
That so many dogs.
So,
I mean, Briar's got her dogs out in the
oh nah.
picture, so
Get this guy off my broadcast. Get this guy off my broadcast.
I don't know. I'm not hearing any lies being said right now. All I'm hearing is truth.
You're biased. You're biased. Shut up. You're biased. Oh, hell no.
Well, I mean, bot lane push coming in favor of SGR here. Wait, are the names? They did swap. They did swap. They lied. These guys are lying.
Okay,
All right, I'm
it's
blaming
okay.
SGR. I've been informed
Ooh,
that we are blaming SGR for not telling us. You know what? At least there's no streamer mode. I was getting a bit sick of that towards the end of 2025. No streamer mode here, so you know I'm happy about that at least. But it is SGR on the blue side. It is SGM on the red side. So Girly Pop this time having to flap some wings to get the slaying going.
You know, very interestingly, this is a Dark Seal start Cassidon with First Strike into an Anivia.
That is allowed.
Speaking of,
Is he dead?
yeah, one more
Doesn't
on
matter.
it. Bye bye.
He's just dead. He has flash though.
Doesn't matter. Anivia just flash autos, so
Yeah, but
it really doesn't matter.
yeah, maybe something. But no, it is First Strike, Dark Seal, Cassidon falling down for first blood, and you wanted to see some slaying. That is aforementioned slaying.
Yeah, you know, it's also aforementioned, not aforementioned, but you know,
Sorry,
it's fine.
aforementioned Americans.
I'm not sure what's going on for SGM, but they're just giving kills left and right. Havoc redeeming himself, finding
I'm
a kill for himself. You know,
much more interested in talking about words and how they're pronounced. And you Americans say a lot of words very strange. You guys say aluminum and Adidas, and I'm not having any of that. You also spell color wrong and favor wrong.
oh come on, we just got rid of you.
I do say aluminium. That is how I say it.
Well, I'm about to have to school our producer here for a second. So aluminium actually used to be the I guess term
Ooh.
for aluminum before it was shortened down, but it is also shortened down in British English as well to aluminum. They don't spell it aluminium anymore, but they still say it that way. So technically, they're also saying the word incorrectly based off of their own.
I'm the only one
but,
saying it correctly, is what I'm hearing.
Um,
That is crazy. I didn't know that, but I do now. I don't know if you were live on. I don't know if they could hear you, but I'm gonna pretend we could, and I'm not even gonna say what you said.
we are just we are on such a tangent right now. Back to League of Legends, and
No, that
less
doesn't
about syntax
happen.
and
2
vocabulary.
kills. Cassidon's up 10 CS somehow, or 5 now.
You know, big things happening in this early game here for
You can
SGR.
tell.
As not sure what's happening. SGM a little bit of a crash out. As a very crazy game early game here from SGR as the Kog'Maw is farming under tower.
Yeah, I'm gonna tangent again. I'm sorry. Until we see some, mega impactful team fights, it's just a dragon trade from here. So, what was? I will say what happened. Apparently, according to History Buff Golden, -1 cannon in top lane. Apparently, it was very expensive to print letters in the past, so you Americans started dropping letters from words that they deemed unimportant. Very American thing to do. We don't need the. Oh yeah. Apparently, there was something called the Great Depression. Never heard of it. Can't have been that bad. A bubble will miss, and there's a Mundo walking down. He takes a look, and then he walks away. But I mean, history's fun. I did history in high school. Oz, did you do history? Did you do any history in?
I did.
You don't have a
year, in fact.
You did what? Sorry.
I did history every single year, or some sort of history.
We do for our final exams. We have a thing called the HSE, the High School Certificate, and we get to choose our subjects. And I chose ancient history. It was very fun. I liked my teacher too.
Well, I'm gonna hold that thought.
Do need a house again? Needs some help. Needs his team, like you mentioned in the end of the last game, and Max will find a pretty easy kill. This is a slow game of SGR just winning the game as Steel City Warrior will be stunned, and Girly Pop has no mana, but still does have Egg. So even though there is a bit of a scary Cassidy on the other side, Girly Pop very safe in this 1v1, but it's 3 kills to SGR.
Yeah, I mean, great play here. And yes, that is also true. The Great Depression could not have been that bad.
Look, have you
something.
ever gone on like a 10-game losing streak? I have. That's bad.
You know what's bad?
Oh, that's the Shen shield. Really nice ult there from Havoc, and yeah, bad is Optic Waffles with ult up. Steel City Warrior tries to come and help his jungler and will fall down for his sins. And Optic Waffles doesn't have flash, so he is walking to his death, and it is 5-0 as Business Mundo needs some buffs in these stocks. He's pretty poor in this game.
Nice poke culling coming out here in the bot lane, but it is disaster for SGM. And for your top side here, the Lucian who will dash in is up CS. Most importantly, it will also not be the Dusk and Dawn Kog'Maw. It will be the Guinsoo's first item. Could also be Bork, I guess, but we've been seeing Guinsoo's first quite a lot with Kog'Maw. So that being said, SGM topside struggling 0 and 5 combined here. All 5 deaths happening on the top side of the map. As Reaches not going to find another engage here. I mean, I did talk about like this Lulu Loki kind of just nullifies the Lucian, so great pickup here from Fails, who had a phenomenal game last game on the Nico. Really impactful member of carrying the team to a victory through his Pop Blossoms. And I am worried because this Kassadin matchup, right, like, is obviously was going to be hard. But the Kassadin's 0 and 2. And it's just so far behind. Like, doesn't have boots built. Like, the Anivia has Swifties.
Yeah. He's very fast. We'll say that SGM were able to get 2 grubs, and Cassin got over the wall, and SGR did only get 1. So, I mean, it's a little something back. They got the first dragon too, so they're not completely feeling too bad about the game state, but it is pretty rough.
Havoc is okay with the shield. Also having
he
the flash
knows that
available.
towers are safe. He knows from that last game, he did some research. He knows towers are safe places to be.
True. He was just gathering information and a data set here about how strong towers are, but the biggest gate for Kassadin is not items, it's levels. So if he's down gold, like, yes, ideally you don't want him to be down gold, but as long as he's staying decent with his experience gains, which right now is down, I just feel the trigger pull coming in top lane. Like, do you need a house? He just wants to go in so bad.
But will what happened in game 1 happen to Do You Need a House? As he starts diving flash and just ends up dying to the tower. Instead, it'll just be a base from Havoc that might get cancelled by Do You Need a House, but he does have TP to join. Top side, it will get cancelled. Will we see a dive here? Maybe a culling out in bot lane will miss most of it, and Havoc will be able to pick up the rest of the wave. He's actually going in for a taunt here. Havoc, nice little block there with his sword. Oh, that was close. I'm surprised that Do You Need a House is playing this conservative. I know that he has died twice and will maybe die for a third time here.
Oh, the boomerang.
Nice flash, but Mags will have the smite and the Q extra range, and that will be a third death for the Gnar. I know that the sides are swapped, but it feels like the red side top laner down 0-3 in lane.
Yeah, maybe it's red side curse. As second Drake, though, this is essentially the exact repeat of what happened last game. Like, red side gets 2 early dragons.
Yeah.
Their top laner has some unfortunate deaths. Bot lane
you
is...
could say that about game 1. Yeah, they were unfortunate.
You could say they were quite unfortunate. Although, the jungle and the mid lane did not have this didn't really have the deaths here and being behind. So that is going to be the difference maker.
Mm.
The Anivia getting closer to level 11 here. Roa is finished up, and the Roa not at all remotely close here for finishing for the Scassidin, so
Yeah.
have to keep our eye out on that one to see when that one's completed.
So Hextech Soul as well, which is very scary, and Bobby will go forward. The polymorph onto Lucian will hit, and the bubble will miss. But first items are coming through. It is going to be the Bork getting built up by Bobby, but Triforce completed for Wukong. A very scary item spike, and still, Anivia winning out in this mid lane matchup. I mean, Steel City Warrior will TP back in, and he's just got boots. He's just got Merc Treads, which does feel good. But Mags is here in the bot lane. The tidal wave will interrupt the engage, so Mags spotted on that ward down the bot lane will mean that there is no play that happens in bot. I mean, he's still trying to sneak through, but SGM are very aware, and you can see pings already out. Steel City Warrior and Optic Waffles are pathing down here, but I think Mags is unaware. He will know now. You were spotted on this way in, and he will retreat to some safety. Towers are safe. Your side of the map is safe. Just ask Havoc.
Oh my god, he's coming back around.
He's wrapping around, does have flash available, and polymorphed. Lucian just walks forward. He flashed in, I'm fairly sure, there. And SGR winning this play handedly. The wild growth on the Manx will keep him healthy. It's only one kill, but SGR, Havoc, finds a solo kill in the top lane. It looks like Flash was used near the enemy near his own tower. So I hope that Do You Need a House didn't go for the old "we are diving" tower. But SGR winning across the board here.
Yeah, I mean, they are just not letting up here. Absolutely unrelenting, as we will get a replay of this top. Oh, please. Please just tell me it's not true. So he's obviously looking here for the Stand United, right? Which is why he's just kind of AFK under tower here. That's like a long replay. We'll have to see again what happens. Nice taunt through. He does get very low here. My god, okay. Shit is OP or what? Do You Need a House gets a nice stun up here, and nice. No, great. It's just a great play. Nice taunt, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, really
I think
well played, actually.
If you hit Havoc, it might have been winnable for this Nah, but back down in bot, we have Scrapping. Girly Pop has TP down to the bot side, and there's another death for this Lucian. Another kill for Bobby. He's on 2 now, and really nice play from Girly Pop.
Yeah, this game is looking much more brutal.
I guess that's why too. Like no item, no Trinity Force for Do You Need a House, as Mags is coming up as well. Again. Yeah, he's just. Well, our top laners this series are very limit testing. It looks like Do You Need a House will be able to get out unless Mags has ult, which he does not. So it'll just be a little bit of chip damage on the back side. But SGR up, 3,500 gold. They're down 2 Drakes, sure, but I'm not sure if SGM are allowed to get any more Drakes. They are so down in gold and tempo here, as Girly Pop will be fighting Steel City Warrior. Girly Pop still has egg that hasn't even been popped once this game yet. The mana is a bit low, a bit rough on the mana. No tier for this Anivia, but it doesn't even matter. Girly Pop is just going to walk in space check. Does he get it? No, does not get it.
That's insane. Oh my god, what an insane play. Just walks into the face of okay, Kog'Maw.
Flash over the bubble, and the tidal wave will interrupt for a moment, but Bobby's extra range will kill out Lucian again. This Kog'Maw is 3-0, and a Kog'Maw Lulu up gold at 15 minutes is very scary, Oz, for SGM.
Yeah, might be down 10 CS, but up 3 kills, so what's 10 CS, I suppose? Yeah, this game is absolutely falling apart here for SGM, but let's see if they can turn it around.
Gonna run, no ghost and no flash on Bobby, so he will fall down here, sacrifices himself. Does he get a 1-for-1? Nearly. I feel like if Phaos had stayed, that would have been a 1-for-1, and Wukong is wrapping around the backside. He's on a ward. Steel City Warrior is so low. I think that SGR might have been able to play that if they had committed to the aggressive play, but now because Bobby's dead and they weren't able to get anyone, this dragon is being looked at Havoc, looking for the solo kill again, but Do You Need a House is about to go into mega form, and he does have ult into the wall, and will find... No, he will not find the solo kill. It's a 1-for-1, but a huge 800 gold shutdown for Do You Need a House. Now back on the bot side, the dragon has spawned but hasn't been taken yet. Mags into the backline doing a ton of damage to this Lucian, and he will fall down. Mags on a rampage now fails, taking a lot of damage, face checking the Mundo in melee range, but Mags is on a tear in the backline, a double kill. He's ripping apart SGM. He's looking for a triple kill, and Fails will unfortunately say, this is not your quadra kill. It is an ace for SGR. 15 kills to 2, and this game, Oz, this game feels very difficult for SGM to come back in.
Regis just legitimately dies there, and for some reason, SCW just acts like he's going to, like, we were playing Cassidy, and at any point, he could have ulted over the wall to buy himself some time, get his CDs back or something. But no, he just sits there and tries to solo 1v1 the Wukong, who, look at his items, right? Like, my brother in Christ on Cassidy has a Roa and a tier, and it's a 1-stack Roa to a Triforce Wukong. There's no world you're ever winning that. And SCW finds out the hard way. You know, Mag's playing an excellent game on the Wukong, able to really punish out this backline, and honestly, it could also be kind of a problem with some target selection here, right? Like, Optic Waffles could at any point have just walked back to help his Gaston, and that Wukong dies, guaranteed.
I'm also thinking about how this fight could have looked if any of the other members for SGR were there. I feel like the fight is just a complete wash. If Kog'Maw's there, it's a complete wash. If this 4-1 Shen is there, okay, Do Need a House did get quite a bit of gold there, nearly 800, has Triforce completed, but the Dragon sacking has been denied. You're losing Herald now too. The gold lead is, 5,000. Okay, Cassidy gets a bit of gold, 1 plate on the bot side here, but that's not enough to really impact the game state, Oz.
Yes, Rift Herald will be utilized here to break. Oh,
and they engage in mid as Mags goes forward. Not a ton getting done here. More of a display of dominance of map pressure, and the culling doesn't even chew through the Lulu shield. What are we going here for Reggie's? He's got Stormrazor. He has no boots completed. He only has tier 1 boots. He has a Dirk and a Scout Slingshot, which doesn't build into anything. So I really don't know what item we are going. This is a bit funny, I'm making a joke here, but his second item spike is so far away because he bought a Dirk and then is not completing the Dirk into a collector or anything, which I don't even think is that good, as Fails will ult himself with the knock-up, and Bobby is here and he does so much damage. Mags is on the backside, and SGM are completely pincered here. Mags dominating now. Fails will take down Optic Waffles, and SGR can do anything they want. They'll summon the Herald and they'll take down this tier 2 as well.
I mean, it's disaster after disaster. This Caston is just falling so far behind. And yes, you're seeing that correctly, that it will be the Mana Immune purchased here for the Caston soon. That is, funnily enough, the meta right now, which, is a bit interesting. But again, he did get nerfed on this patch because of this build, so you can kind of see. Not doing so hot, but that is a-okay. Still waiting on level 16 Cassidy. He's down 2 levels. The Sinivia's Roa is about to pop any minute now. Which is also incredibly scary, because that'll also increase the level lead. We are looking at a 25-26 minute completion here for SCW's Roa. He doesn't even have a second item completed. The Anivia already with the second item completed, working towards the third. So SGR in a prime position here to end the game very quickly here. They might only need this next Drake spawn potentially to convert this game as they set up for Baron.
Which we don't know when it's going to spawn. The timer is not here for us. We don't know when Dragon spawning, but I assume it's going to be fairly soon. That last dragon was taken not that long ago. I mean, Bobby's actually down items here as the Dirk with the RFCs been completed, but I think the walls are just too heavy for SGR Oz. The game is almost impossible to play, and SGM seem content on continuing to fight over and over and over again with their one item Cassidon, not level 16. SGR will move over to the Baron, and we are looking at a 10,000 gold lead here for SGR. The dragon stacking doesn't really mean anything. Did Fails just flush the wall?
Fails just flashed the wall because like he's not even gonna die to this Cassidon, so it doesn't even need it. Oh my goodness, it is SGR. Definitely a massive turnaround from game one, I will say.
Yeah, well, I mean, calling back to the content, at the beginning of game one, it didn't look very good for SGR. It felt like they kind of squeaked out a win there, and the content had said that, this team was, an upgrade from their other roster, as Mundo has just decided he is going to die. He flashes into the pit, but Wukong can follow, and Girly Pop is around the corner, escorts himself to watch the enemy team take the dragon. That was an ambitious Hexgate, but SGR looking like a very strong team now.
Well, Mundo goes where he pleases, and he pleases to see himself back in the fountain as Havoc in danger.
He could ult. Havoc could just ult away. He's deciding not to, but the CC has been used, and Havoc is so tanky that he doesn't even need to. He can stand there 1v2 and run away.
Oh, this Lucian build is just so insane. I knew it was going to be rapid fire, but like this Lucian build is just...
Is he going Serpent's Fang now?
I don't know. I just... A lot of questions.
Before we're getting a replay, because this looks like the same thing again. We're not doing this. Please.
Yeah.
There's a Baron in the bot lane.
Guys are base.
Yeah, well, there's a Cassidon in the top side as well, as the base is being broken open. Mags with the double ult and the wild growth on top. And Cassidon has still not based. We are getting this tier 1 tower in top for our Nexus trade, as the base is completely blown open, and my Cassidon has still not returned to the base. He is getting this tier 1 Oz, and SGR will be getting the game. Objective bounty has been claimed, but the series has been claimed for SGR, as they will sweep through SGM in a 2-0 fashion. He has still not based or TP'd.
We will not go silently into the night. We will get your tier 1 top tower. SGR, I mean, they have a phenomenal performance in this game too. Man, I hate this analysis point sometimes, but it really felt like SGM kind of just mentally destroyed after like game 1. Like,
yeah,
especially with what Cassidon did there, like gets solo killed by auto attacks from Anivia because he's out of mana. And from that point, mid lane is just completely over because you draft yourself into a hard lane, and Anivia is going to be able to continue pushing that issue until you scale. But the issue is because you already got yourself behind so much on top of the matchup being hard, so you just naturally get behind. It's just a never-ending problem, and SEW on the Cassidon opting to go for that tier 1 and top. Kind of the culmination of SGM, I think, that game. I mean, realistically, okay, to get them some flowers, I thought Regis and Voidkisser were, for the most part, holding it down, because while the rest of their team was just, like, burning, they were playing bot lane as best as they could, especially into a matchup that they get countered in, right? Like, the Lulu prevents the Lucian from, like, hard engaging onto the Kog'Maw. But at the end of the day, right, it's just SGR having a phenomenal performance. Girly Pop on the Anivia doing top damage. Some excellent walls, some excellent plays as well, coming through from this bot lane. Fails on the Lulu. Honestly, my MVP, I think, for the series. 2-0-14 this game, and the sole reason that SGR won that last game as well. So definitely my MVP. I think definitely well-deserved support MVP. You know, I think Ox would be quite happy with me with that one.
I'll ask him. Um, I think that the bot lane matchup, it is a tough matchup, but I mean, look at the gold. Like only 1,500 gold lead with the 5 kills and the way that the game went for Bobby. So the bot lane, despite the damage looking rough, 10,000 extra damage, the gold was fine. I think my MVP might be, Girly Pop. I think that the Oriana was really nice. I think that the Anivia getting that massive lead, rotating around with the team and doing a really good job in these team fights as well. I think Mags had a really good series as well. Like, especially that game two, played really well on the Wukong, dictating the pace. That's what you want to see from a Wukong. But the Civil War, with maybe some mental booming happening, the resurgence of Stasis Gaming coming through for the team with the name. And yeah, I'm interested to see how the Stasis Gaming Discord would be after that, or you know what the feels are. As I'm sure these teams scrim each other, I would imagine that would be the case. You've got two teams in the same org. But Oz, do you have any final thoughts before we send us off?
Final thoughts is, even if you have a rough game one, and even if you're kind of off to a rough start in the early game, barring what happened in this game, where the game is just completely over at like 10 minutes, the game is still easily like able to be come back, right? Especially if you have like a good draft. Um, you know, we saw it last game, right? Like SGR had a fantastic draft that they could really lean into. The Nico, as I mentioned in that draft, right? It doesn't matter how many times you miss your ultimate. The only thing you have to do is hit the one game-winning one. Granted, this is not saying that Fails missed every ult or anything. He was hitting ults, the entire game. But you just need to hit the ult when all the stars align, and you'll win the game off of it, which is what he did. Um, so yeah, just don't get down about yourself in game one, because game one, being a game one Andy, Gebetto loves to be a game one Andy. Don't
I
be a
am.
game one Andy. Don't be a game one Andy ever.
Well, that'll be all from a Titan staff here on what day is it for you guys? It's a Thursday.
It is
It's a
Thursday. Yes,
Thursday.
yes, yes.
Thursday night, right? Week 3 has been concluded. I want to thank Golden on prod, Loki on prod, you Oz, and I'll thank myself for stepping in here. But that'll be the Civil War concluded between Stasis Gaming Mirage and Stasis Gaming Resurgence. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week for some more Tide and Esports action.